have finally received a new trailer for Assassin's Creed Mirage. Is it gameplay? No, it's not gameplay, but at least it's something, right? As of recording, this past week saw Paris Games Show 2022, and within this game show, we saw a new trailer for Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, although this trailer didn't show anything new, it revealed a lot more information to us on what the game's going to be, what the story is going to be revolving around, modern day elements and how that will incorporate into the main story of the game, and much more. Now, this video was in French because it was in Paris, the game show. But the trailer I'll be using for reference is the video posted by Access the Animus. These guys, they hook us up. They do hook us up. This has English subtitles and I can refer back to it when I add my thoughts and give the information. There's a lot to dive into here, so get yourself ready, sit yourself down and be prepared to learn more about Assassin's Creed Mirage. Let's go. So due to this trailer, we now know that the main modern day story of Assassin's Creed Mirage will be Abstergo looking back at Basim's life to find out about his Isu link and whether that's part to do with his DNA or just involvement, etc. They call his DNA test sample 18. Now, whether that means they've tried to access his DNA through people in the past 17 times before and it hasn't really worked, or maybe it's test sample 18 because technically when Desmond died, he was subject 17, and then when they got his DNA, it was, I guess, test sample 17, perhaps? I don't actually know on that one. Feel free to correct me. So maybe there's a reason why he's 18, Desmond was 17, and obviously we know subject 16. I don't know. That's just speculation. We now have confirmation of where Basim was born. He was born in Samarra in Mesopotamia in the year 835. We know where Basim originated, we know where he's from, but it's good to see it confirmed, of his place of birth. We know Loki was a trickster, so we know he would lie if he thought it suited him. And I'm not sure whether in Valhalla or not Basim did tell Eivor or Sigurd where he was born. And he may well have done that, but to see it down on paper, on screen, from Abstergo, this is where he was born, that shows, well, okay, Loki wasn't lying, he was born in Mesopotamia, Samarra. The trailer also goes into detail explaining that Basim played a major role in the expansion of the Assassin Brotherhood within Baghdad. Of course, at this time, they were called the Hidden Ones. Again, this is showing us that the main story of the game is heavily going to focus on the Hidden One Brotherhood at the time, on the political state of the city, their involvement with politics, and their potential and most likely inevitable influence on the way the city went. With leaders, with laws, with potential progressiveness. Sounds like it's shaping up to be a really solid Assassin's Creed story, especially when it comes to the Brotherhood as a whole and the city as a whole. That's what we love to see. Now, in my prior video, I gave you guys details about the game's story going to be focused on the transition from the Hidden Ones to the Assassin Brotherhood as we know them in the first Assassin's Creed game. That's what one of the developers said in an interview. Now, this trailer definitely backs that up when it says Basim played a major role in the Hidden Ones. And it makes a lot of sense because Basim played a big role with the Hidden Ones, their expansion, the way they moved around within the country, within potential other countries around it, which sounds like to me would lead hand in hand with transitioning into something bigger, something grander, something more grounded, something more dense, which of course was later the Assassin Brotherhood from the Hidden Ones. The trailer then kind of recaps the story of Valhalla, the main parts involving Basim anyway. He befriended Sigurd in Constantinople, came over to Norway, met Eivor, they had a lot of work together. If work is the right word, they worked together. Yeah, that makes sense. Until eventually Basim betrayed Eivor and Sigurd. Now, Abstergo don't know why this is at the moment. They probably have suspicions because, as they later say in this trailer, they are suspicious that he may have links to the Isu, but they don't know for sure. They don't know what we know. Now, this might be because Layla obviously wasn't working for the Templars at the time of her going through these memories. She was working for the Assassins. Perhaps the Templars are a few steps behind when learning the story of Eivor, Sigurd, Basim. Perhaps they're retracing Layla's steps, what she did, but maybe because Layla is now in the simulation working with Desmond, they have scrambled some of the information so they don't learn everything. That's only speculation, but that would make sense to why they aren't quite sure that Basim is alive. Another thing they mention in this trailer, They say they're unaware of the circumstances of his death. They don't know that he's still alive, which means they don't know he went into the simulation, to Valhalla, whatever you want to call it. They only know pieces of the puzzle. They don't know the full picture. The trailer then transitions into explaining why we're going through Basim's memories. They want to fill the puzzle. They want to fill the picture, to put the pieces together. Is he linked to the Isu somehow? It seems to be he is. Let's figure out how and why. We're Abstergo, we're Templars, we're fighting against the assassins, and at the moment they are a step ahead of us. What we need to do is we need to go back, retrace our steps, retrace their steps, and retrace Basim's steps to learn more and to get ahead in the game. Enter the beginning of Assassin's Creed Mirage when you start as Basim. Now, they say in this trailer he is a 17-year-old teenager. In my last video, I speculated he was probably in his early 20s. He didn't look like he would be as young as 17, but, you know, it makes sense, and I think it's likely going to be going through many years. With Assassin's Creed Mirage, if you played Assassin's Creed 2, you know it started off as Ezio, again, 17 years old, actually. And the game ends with him in, I think, his late 30s, close to 40 even. It's almost 20-year story. This trailer also goes back on a timeline of Basim's life to see when we're going to start the game and where we need to go to fill in the pieces. If you look here at the beginning of the timeline, it says Basim's birth. That shows me that it's going to be very similar to Assassin's Creed 2 in the way the timeline of his life is portrayed. We might even, at the beginning of the game, see the birth of Basim very similar to the way we saw the birth of Ezio in Assassin's Creed 2. Then, as the main game sort of kicks in, we see Basim at 17, a young, unruly, that's the word I'm looking for, unruly child, pretty much, very similar to Ezio. Of course, the difference is Ezio was a posh boy, and Basim is a rough street thief. But I think it will be very similar in the way that they join the Creed. Something will humble them. Something will humble Basim. It will turn him away from petty crimes, away from maybe unneeded crimes, and onto a, if you want to call it this, a righteous path of the Brotherhood. Whether you'd call it righteous or not is up to point of view, I suppose. So I do think through this game, we will see a massive change with Basim, from him not knowing he was Loki, all the way to the end of the game, which I think will probably end maybe when he goes to Constantinople and meets Sigurd. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see that happen at the end of the game, because again, on this timeline, it says the arrival of Constantinople just before it leads into the events of Valhalla. I think it will genuinely go to this point, go to this extent in the game. Whether we'll actually see Constantinople at the end of the game, or it will be him maybe getting on a boat to go there and it ends, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see Sigurd turn up. They actually meet for the first time. Sigurd's like, yo, you know, come to Norway with me, you know, we could do with you. And Basim's, he gets a feeling, you know, he's Loki at this point pretty much. He gets a feeling there's something to this guy, and let's see what happens. And then maybe they go, the game ends, and then that is the beginning of Valhalla. I don't know, that's speculation, but let me know what you guys think in the comments about that. I think that could be very possible for the main story of the game. Now, here's some gameplay information rather than story. It goes into detail mentioning Basim's exceptional skills in parkour, in combat, and in assassinations. Now, this further solidifies to me that the game is going to be revolving around the OG style of gameplay. No longer will we have the RPG, slash 'em and hash 'em, slash 'em and... what? Dash 'em? Oh, bro, I can't even think of the right word. Hack 'em and slash, that's what I meant to say. And numbers fly off screen and you hit them about for ages. You just give them a little bitch slap and over and they die. It's not going to be like that anymore. It's going to be just one bitch slap. You run up to them, you bitch slap them with the hidden blade, mate. They get slapped, they die. That's what it's going to be like, because Basim is exceptional with assassinations. If you do get into combat, hand to hand, again, he's exceptional in this, so he could probably take down 5 people around him quite easily. He's a skilled assassin after all. Maybe not at the beginning of the game, but as the story goes through, definitely so. And of course, with parkour, I've made videos in the past where developers have said and hinted towards the game bringing back Unity style parkour in the way of flashy animations, maybe not in the same way, but in a similar way. And my thoughts on the parkour system in Unity, I will not go in depth on today. You can watch a different video about that on my channel. There's a card in the top corner for that video right now. But it's going to be a major improvement on parkour compared to the last 3 games, for example. Again, this looks like the developers just saying to us, look, we're doing it, it's here, we're mentioning it again because it's going to be here. And I mean, at this point, mate, if the game comes out and all these things aren't present, they're shitty parkour, shitty combat, the assassinations are just bullshit, mate. If it's like that, then bro, there's gonna be a riot and they're gonna lose even more credibility. Of course, the people that aren't OG fans, such as young kids or people who have just got into the series with something like Odyssey, who don't really know the reason we loved Assassin's Creed to start with, such as nuanced characters, good writing, a deep understanding of the Creed, and things that went in depth on that stuff. That's what we love about Assassin's Creed. Yeah, we love the gameplay, the combat, the parkour. We love that stuff too. But it was a whole experience. These newer people who played maybe Odyssey, they thought it was fun to run around and to explore Greece, think, oh, it's just a game about history and that's why it's good. So why isn't Odyssey good? Because they really represented Greece well. Yeah, they did, but there's a lot more to it than that. What I'm saying is, without going on a tangent anymore, people like that will love the game either way, whether it's good or deemed a good Assassin's Creed game or not. People will like it, but it looks like they're trying to appeal to, you know, us guys that have kind of been turned off recently and are kind of sad with the way the series has gone. They're trying to appeal to us, so I feel like this game has to hit the mark. It has to, because if it doesn't, like, we're done. I don't know about you guys, but if this game doesn't turn out well, like, I genuinely am done with the series going on in the future. I was almost done with Valhalla, but now we've got this trailer for Assassin's Creed Mirage, and it really does seem to be a return to what we really loved for Assassin's Creed. Like, it's kind of put me on the idea of, okay, well, it looks like it could be good. This is your last chance, because if you fuck this up, like, I'm done. I'm not going to get let down again and again and again. And I am very cautiously optimistic because I know that they could just fuck it up, mate. So we'll see. That was a bit of a tangent. Apologies. We're going to move on. It confirms that we will be fighting the Order of Ancients within this game, aka the Templars. Now, we knew this. We knew this. Of course, you're going to be fighting the Templars. Again, if they're trying to bring it back to its roots, of course you're going to be fighting the Templars, you know? It's nothing we don't already know, but again, it's there. It's a bit of information to, again, confirm to us, okay, it's gonna be there. Finally, the voiceover in the trailer mentions Basim's visions of what we know to be a Jinn. Now, it doesn't really explain what these visions are. It says, you know, it's still unknown to us what these menacing visions are. We don't really know, and that's why we need to look into them. It's most definitely going to be visions revolving around Basim transitioning into Loki. For those of you that don't know, Basim is the reincarnation of an Isu being called Loki. Now, in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Eivor was the reincarnation of Harvey, or Odin. The only way for Eivor to relive his memories of his past life was to see it through the lens of what he could understand, or she. I know the main protagonist is a female version, I just forget. So we see the ones who came before, but in a Norse mythology lens. These visions Basim is having of the Jinn, and when the game comes out, probably a lot more than just the Jinn. It's Basim reliving his memories, regaining his memories with the lens of his culture. And of course, this is Middle Eastern culture. Just quickly, without going off on a tangent again, I think this Jinn probably represents Basim himself, or more likely, Loki. It's like he's looking in the mirror. Who is he? Who is this person? The more he looks at this person in the mirror, he finds out, this is me. But no, it's not Basim, it's the true me. This is Loki. And maybe then he turns that scary thing and he embodies that and brings it on himself. And that's when he kind of becomes a little bit evil. I wouldn't say evil, but a little bit unhinged. Anyway, guys, that is it for this video. If you did enjoy this, press the like button and a subscribe button to stay in the loop with everything Assassin's Creed Mirage and more in the future. Comment below your thoughts on this. Do you think it was a good trailer? Do you think it was a little bit shitty? You know, I think at this point, if you're making a trailer, just show us some bloody gameplay, mate. Honestly, what's your problem? Show us gameplay. I don't know why, but hey, it's better than nothing. We've got a new bit of content. We've got some more details. And again, we have a more clear image of what gameplay could be. But what's the point of having a clear image of gameplay when you could just show us gameplay and it'll be the clearest image it could be? I don't know, mate. Ubisoft, honestly, if you're watching this, just give us gameplay. Like, I ain't pre-ordering unless I see gameplay, alright? But yeah, let's get a discussion going below and build the community, as I always say. And something else I always say is, may the Father of Understanding guide us. Fuck the Templars, though. We don't like them, bro. Fuck the... Love you guys. See you in a bit. Goodbye.